to victory. Labour Party marching, Labour Party marching, marching on to victory. Jump and shout, tell it all about, we shall have the victory. Jump and shout, tell it all about, we shall have the Labour Party marching on to victory. Labour Party marching, Labour Party marching, marching on to victory. Labour Party marching on, all right, marching on to victory. Labour Party marching, Labour Party marching, marching on to victory. Jump and shout, tell it all about, we shall have the victory. Jump and shout, tell it all about, we shall have the victory. Come now, me and the neighbor, oh yes, we voting for Labour. All right, me and the neighbor, bring them, we voting for Labour. Carry them, me and the neighbor, oh yes, we voting for Labour. Oh yes, me and the neighbor, voting, we voting for Labour. All right, jump and shout, tell it all about, we shall have the victory. The victory, a victory. Must be, we are gonna make that change. Yes, we will now. Jamaica need a chance to turn their life around. We are gonna make that change. Tell them again, there got to be a better way. Oh yes, we are gonna make that change. Jamaica need a chance to turn their life around. We are gonna make that change. Come on, me and the neighbor, all right, we voting for Labour. Oh yes, me and the neighbor, voting, we voting for Labour. Vote them on, me and the neighbor, vote them on, we voting for.
Good morning, Liberates, and good morning to all other comebacks watching this channel. Welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your host, none other than the greatest Laborite alive, and now the voice of the Westmoreland people. And now, good morning, guys. I woke up this morning in a somber mood. You know, the entire hierarchy of the Jamaica Labour Party, you know, is in mourning this morning, and I like to join them in sending condolences to, you know, Mr. Don Wehby's family. Mr. Wehby and I have a similar story. So there are persons that don't really follow the politics religiously, you know, maybe like I do, you know, and Mr. Wehby, which I'm going to let you guys hear in his own words this morning, you know, we'll let you guys listen to Don Wehby, and then I'll get to my point, you know. So let me just find that phone.
There was this young man, probably 15 years old, that would sit on the stairs of this old building with the Jesuits walking past, the priest, and he would be signing his name over and over and over. And his friends would laugh after him and say, "You just sign your name, so." And I think it was a Jesuit, Ratcliffe, it was Father Quinlan or one, Father Ferris. I'd say, "Young man, why are you signing your name like that?" And the young man looked at the Jesuit, or looked at the priest, and said, "One day, I'm going to be signing the balance sheet of one of the largest companies in Jamaica. In 19, and without aging that person too much, that was 1982. And in 1997, you can do the mathematics how many years after, that young man signed the balance sheet of GraceKennedy. That young man is standing in front of you as your group CEO.
When Don Wehby joined GraceKennedy as Group Finance Manager in 1995, it was the beginning of a journey that would see him make major moves and achieve memorable milestones, ultimately leading the company to new heights of success. Within 3 years of joining the company, Wehby was appointed Group Chief Financial Officer of GraceKennedy, leading its listing on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. 1 year later, in 1999, he undertook the additional role of Chief Operating Officer for the Financial Services Division. After spearheading several important initiatives for the group, including the acquisition of Trafalgar Commercial Bank, later rebranded First Global Bank, Wehby was appointed Chief Executive Officer of GK Investments in 2006. That company would eventually become the GK Financial Group. Under his leadership, GK's Financial Services Division grew rapidly, with pre-tax profit moving from $280 million in 2000 to $1.417 billion in 2005, an increase of 406%. His proven track record for success led to the start of a new era for GraceKennedy, his appointment as Group Chief Executive Officer on July 1, 2011. From the very outset, the strength of Wehby's leadership was apparent, as he built on the legacy of his predecessors, guiding GraceKennedy towards its vision of becoming a global consumer group. Wehby often says, "What gets measured gets done," and his unwavering focus on execution consistently propelled GraceKennedy to achieve record-breaking results. By 2013, the company had already reached a significant milestone under his direction. Its profit before tax surpassed $5 billion Jamaican dollars for the first time. GraceKennedy's food division also began undergoing a transformative shift, forging strategic partnerships with farmers and expanding its manufacturing capabilities. These initiatives set the company on course to become a regional leader in manufacturing, while bolstering Jamaica's self-sufficiency and supporting local production for international markets. GK also continued to extend its global reach by strengthening ties with international partners. A key milestone in this effort came in 2014, when under Wehby's leadership, GraceKennedy acquired Lafay Foods, positioning its food division for rapid expansion in the U.S. market. As GraceKennedy continued to thrive, Wehby's achievements earned widespread recognition. In 2015, he was awarded International Entrepreneur of the Year by the Young Caribbean Professional Network for his leadership in making GK a major player in the global marketplace and his commitment to investing in downtown Kingston and sports development in Jamaica. That same year, he was also recognized by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica as a distinguished member for his sterling contributions to the profession, the private sector, government, and the nation. In 2016, Wehby propelled GraceKennedy to yet another historic milestone, with the company paying over $1 billion Jamaican dollars in dividends for the first time. It was also a special year for Wehby personally, as he was honored by his alma mater, St. George's College, by being inducted into its Hall of Fame for excellence and achievement in business, community spirit, and service to the college. With momentum building, Wehby continued to drive GK's strategic expansion, and acquisitions became a key area of focus. In 2017, Consumer Brands Limited, a distribution company for Procter & Gamble, was added to the group. By the end of 2018, GK had also secured stakes in Catherine's Peak, Grace Pepper, and Majesty Foods, and had acquired Globe Finance through its Barbados-based business Signia. Then in 2019, GraceKennedy and the Musson Group announced a partnership to enter the group life and health insurance market under the name Canopy Insurance Limited. The same year, GraceKennedy delivered another record-breaking performance, surpassing of 100 billion Jamaican dollars, a full 3 years ahead of target. In 2019, a key milestone of Wehby's vision for GraceKennedy became a reality with the opening of the company's new headquarters at 42 to 56 Harbour Street. This landmark development, the results of years of planning and a Jamaican $3 billion investment, underscored his commitment to remaining deeply rooted in Jamaica and the revitalization of downtown Kingston while strengthening GraceKennedy's global presence. To close out the year on a high note, the dedication and hard work of the team led by Wehby earned GraceKennedy the prestigious Jamaica Stock Exchange Governor General's Award for Excellence.
Now, like me, obviously, I don't have a sport, but I consider myself to be a nation builder. I want to see my nation build and become something more than, and Don Wehby, who was a senator, a government senator, he was a minister of government, a minister without portfolio. So, he has achieved great things in his life, my people, and Jamaica have benefited from it. So this morning I want to extend my heartfelt condolences to the Wehby family. We want to say that your dad or your husband, your brother, your uncle, was a great steward of Jamaica and her people. And we really appreciate what he had done for the Jamaican people. GraceKennedy had employed thousands of Jamaicans, my people. Because, you have comrades who will be here thinking, what have he done? A lot of people ate because of Don Wehby. And he was able to grow, his business. And then, GraceKennedy was able to grow it and grow it massively enough where it could employ thousands of Jamaicans. And not only Jamaicans, GraceKennedy also operated outside of Jamaica, several other countries, so they employed people worldwide. Now, let me just get to the shout out, guys. I realize that I missed out the shout out. So, Joseph, big up yourself. Jacqueline, big up yourself. Saya, big up yourself. Christy, big up yourself. Monica, big up yourself. Simone, big up yourself. Danro, big up yourself. Ellen, big up yourself. Preston, big up yourself. Roxanne, big up yourself. Lisa Hall, big up yourself. PB, big up yourself. And I think I said Danro already. Big up yourself, Danro, again. Now, it is important, my people, to believe in yourself. Mr. Wehby did. It is important to believe in yourself. Our Prime Minister that you're looking on the screen, he believed in himself. These are our Jamaican people who have made big bank because they believed in themselves. Big up yourself, General. Craig, big up yourself as well. It is important for you to believe in self, in oneself, my people, and believe that you can achieve great things. These people, they did not sit around sitting in the ghetto moping about and, feeling sorry for themselves. They got up, albeit, some of them might have gotten a head start, but we know that our Prime Minister did not get a head start and he have risen to the pinnacle. You'd have heard at the beginning of the tape where Don Wehby said they would laugh at him, saying, I remember when my father was teaching me to sign my signature, so, one day my signature gonna be big like for Don Wehby too, or even bigger, but, they've had a head start, they have spent many years studying and they have achieved great things. Don Wehby have achieved great things. I have family members on my father's side who have achieved great things as well. I want to stand out as one of those persons one day. Mama. And I know Don Wehby wanted to see the JLP go on and win the next election. So we are calling on the labor rights now, to make Mr. Wehby proud and others. I am sure it's not just Don Wehby, I know my uncle would have wanted as well to see this victory coming as well. They have worked tirelessly, they have worked, you know, endlessly to see a better Jamaica. I remember in the 90s when, my uncle went up against Percival James the Bumps Patterson in Eastern Westmoreland and was beaten significantly. However, the beating that he got, so much people live in a Eastern Westmoreland, my people. But however, that was done and dusted, and he tried his best then, but he never gave up, my people. That is the essence of what I'm saying. He went on to do other great things. Just like when they were laughing at Don Wehby. Don Wehby didn't throw in the towel and gave up. They have laughed at me as well as a child. Call me a dunce and a dummy and tell me I would not amount to anything out of life. And because they used to say that to me, I wanted to show them. So I didn't give up. Today I'm the holder of 13 certificates. I attended Lewisham College in South London. I also attended, the School of Business and Finance in London. I did not complete those studies, but, I attended nonetheless. And, I had my daughter DUJON'S came, and, her mother wasn't in the position to help me, so I had to drop out of school to go and make sure that my child was taken care of. And I just didn't go back. However, I have, plans and different endeavors. And it is important for us to tell our children in Jamaica, that they can do it. And we should support them. A lot of parents as well are not supportive of their children. When you see something special in your children, you must nurture it. And we should use people like Don Wehby as an example. He was a Jamaican born. I know a lot of people that is affiliated to the PNP don't believe that they self can achieve great things because they were born in the ghetto, and because they were born in the ghetto, they have used that to tear their own selves down. So we must get to a place now where we can show these people. I had a whole show planned this morning, guys. I was coming to show you some stuff that Edward Seaga had achieved, even before he became Prime Minister. But, I said I had to come and talk about Don Wehby because I've seen him in recent weeks and he look hearty and healthy. I am sure I've seen him on something with the Prime Minister in recent time. And he look hearty and healthy. So one day you're here, my people, and the next day you're not. Big up yourself, Valerie. And Nardia, big up yourself. Happy Sunday to everybody. It is not a happy Sunday for the JLP, and Mr. Wehby is one of the Prime Minister's personal brethren as well. So I can imagine it's not going to be a good day for the Prime Minister. However, the country don't stop, my people, and the work goes on. The work goes on, my people, and I come and here, I poke fun and I laugh and I talk frankly and I talk seriously, but today is not one of those days. Today is a somber day, my people. Is a day to reflect on the life and the legacy of not only Don Wehby, but a lot of persons who, served the Jamaica Labour Party and wanted to see a better Jamaica and did not live to see it. That in itself is sad. However, Don Wehby has been a part of making Jamaica a better place, and his family should be proud and proud to have had somebody like that within their midst. I hope when my day comes, my family will be able to be proud to say, big up yourself, Joseph Spence. Big up yourself, that I use my time on this earth to make a difference, just like, Andrew Wellness or Don Wehby and others. You know, like I said, I had a whole program planned to show you guys some stuff that Edward Seaga had done, even in opposition. So I was going to contrast him this morning with none other than Bucky Swamps, you know, to show you what Edward Seaga was able to achieve. He too was a great steward of Jamaica, had done great things for Jamaica. And you know, I know if life had permitted, he would have loved to see today's Jamaica, because that was a part of his vision as well. And things that are being implemented today, you know, some of it was on the books from Edward Seaga's time as well. You know, just like stuff on the book from the PNP's times, things on the book from even far back as the 60s, you know. But, you know, we the people will continue to ask the people of Jamaica to hold up their head and look towards the examples that are being set out there, you know, especially from people like our Prime Minister and Mr. Wehby, his friend. You know, my uncle, my father, I still got uncles who are out there in who are civil servants right now, you know, doing a good job for Jamaica, you know, and I too hope to join, you know, if the good Lord will permit it, my people. You know, I'm in England now, but I'm only here because I am not financially ready yet to go home, you know, but over the next couple of years I should be okay, and I look forward to come home and join the team in helping build my nation. You know, and all of us should want to see that our children deserve it. Our grandchildren will deserve it. You know, some of the elders from yesteryear, some of them not deserve it. We don't tell no lie. They sit down and vote for PNP all of their life like they're stubborn. You know, some of them not deserve it. But for the ones that didn't, you know, they deserve to see a better Jamaica. I was watching the Prime Minister's live the other day, and I heard a elderly gentleman. I believe he's probably somewhere in his late 60s, early 70s. And I heard him on the Prime Minister's live saying that, you know, he is happy that the Prime Minister got crime under control, and he's happy for the youths of today because they will get to see how nice Jamaica is like when he was a child. So he was happy to live to see that, my people. You know, there are plenty of examples. We got Dr. Horace Chang. People that knows him personally will tell you that he's the sweetest, kindest, loving man. You know, he's a great nation builder as well. You know, Colonel Charles Senior, you know, who the PNP locked up twice and he had to run away and come back. You know, these people have held it together for many years, and we have whole heap of example to look to as labor rights. You know, don't be fooled, my people. It is us and our, you know, the company that we keep that grows this nation. Today Jamaica is ripe for the picking because of people like Don Wehby, who are able to be advisors to them and to advise them correctly. You know, and we must not wait, my people, until people is dead before we give them their flowers. You know, we must tell them to their face that you have done a valiant job, a brilliant job for the people, and we appreciate you for that. You know, so keep heart, labor rights. We are going to mourn Mr. Wehby. We are going to put him down in style, I'm sure. You know, and I know it won't be anything political. It will be a private moment with his family. You know, we'll probably get pictures from it. But you know, I am hoping to be alive to see the result of the next election. You know, and I know that the good Lord is shining his light down on the Jamaican people. And Edward Seaga and Don Wehby and my uncle and plenty of others, you know, will get to stand in the cloud and look down on Jamaica in all her glory. You know, Jamaica deserve to grow now. Jamaica deserve to be what it was meant to be, what our forefathers wanted it to be, my people. And we are slowly but surely getting there. You know, Latanya Jackson said, "Are you Jamaican?" Yes, Latanya, I am Jamaican. You know, I'm and a naturalized British citizen as well. You know, so I'm a dual national. You know, I also speak proper English. But I just choose not to. you know, you like Montego Bay? Yeah, Montego Bay is a nice place, Latanya, and it is close to my hometown of Westmoreland, my home city. So yeah, Montego Bay is absolutely beautiful, and it is only getting better. But people, my people of Jamaica now, want to listen to me, and listen to me good. I went to bed last night I came off the live and I went to sleep, and I woke up like probably 15 minutes into the sleep, my people. If I'm telling you something, I come off a live, I wake up about 15 minutes in I sleep, and I take up my phone, wrong thing I go do. Anyway, I was on the live last night with the happenings that was going on in St. Elizabeth, and the labor right there catch me, say, "Oh, I say my God, I'm in bed." But anyway, we the people have to understand that in order for us to have better, my people, and we are going to segue a little bit from this now. In order for us to have better, we must expect better from our leadership. Why do I say this? I have watched the space, and Don Wehby is a man that have served both government. I don't know if Mark Golden is sleeping. Don Wehby is also a government senator. So Don Wehby would have rubbed shoulder with all PNP MPs and senators. I am yet to see, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I am yet to see the opposition leader, wish condolences to Don Wehby. And this is where Jamaica is today, with a oppressive opposition leader that come to create mischief and mayhem. And I would have said this on this platform on many occasions, my people. I make no bones about it, that I do not like not even the fiber of the very being of Mark Golden. I do not even like one of the molecules that make him up. See, I curse the very sperm that made him. That man is a divisive figure, and he's here to divide our people, to conquer us. And if this is what we are here as a people to accept as an opposition, then if we are willing to accept Mark Golden as our opposition leader, because people are saying now that they want him to be Prime Minister, and he has failed miserably in being opposition, what would you guys think would happen should he become Prime Minister? See, let me tell you something, Jamaica. For the first time in my lifetime, my nation, with the people that helped to build it, is looking up. And at the very least, we should have some respect for these persons. To not even grace Mark Golden with the thought, I beg your pardon, Bucky Swamps, with the thought of becoming leader of our nation. It is time now that we show Mark Golding the door. Mark Golding should not even be sitting in this upcoming general election. He's not qualified. See? He's not qualified. Ivan, big up yourself. Garfield, big up yourself. Marlon, big up yourself. Winsome Ricketts, big up yourself. See if me left out nobody. Caitlin, big up yourself. Or Kathleen, big up yourself. Do we not owe it to our children, Jamaica? And this Sunday morning as we mourn brother Don Wehby's a nation builder. Somebody that have gone through the motions in helping even when things was dire. People like Don Wehby was standing there, working away, chipping away, trying to build a company to help. You know, not only to profit, because profit was there to make, but to employ Jamaicans so Jamaicans could have somewhat of a standard of living. Good morning, Sudani. Why would we grace a person like Bucky Swamps who want to build in swamps for the Jamaican people? Is that what we deserve? You guys, if you watched the live last night, you'd have heard me play a clip where Mark Golding said that he did not present a budget because should he win the election, they would have been halfway into a budget already. Then in that very same clip, we heard Bucky Swamp saying that should he win the election, he would not carry out the budget of the JLP. So what would he get elected for, my people? Somebody tell me. No, we're not going to say, yeah, and you know, let's not be complacent, labor rights. We have a duty to go out there and spread the word and tell our neighbors, to tell their neighbors, that we are all voting for Labour. See? We should be telling everybody that we know. It is a hard task. And we have a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation out there in the space. You know? And Jamaican people, they love mix up. That is the facts. They love mix up. And because them love mix up, them hold on to things like that. See? Because it gets them, it get them hard or something. A man will come and tell us, say, for example, a prime minister thief $3 trillion. See? And you will run with that wholeheartedly. Because guess why? You wanna look into it and say, boy, we have a NIR, which is the Net International Reserve. And the most money in that is $6 billion. And if $6 billion is the most money Jamaica ever have in a reserve, how can you thief $3 trillion? Because $3 trillion is 3,000 billion dollars. I would never have not even $100 billion yet. The most we ever had a 6. So when get $3,000 billion for thief? Nobody not try to look into those things. Saying all of that to say this, the people who is running the People's National Criminal Organization today, they're a set of vermins and invertebrates and worms. They're tantamount to a centipede. You know, they should live somewhere cold and dark. They have no integrity. I must not allow them to trample on the legacy and the hard work of people like Don Wehby. I am yet to see one of them come out and say condolences to Don Wehby. Don Wehby, who was a businessman in dear time, who was growing a business in dear time, who was employing Jamaicans in dear time. They just weren't savvy enough to help to expand business, the PNP. I beg your pardon, the PNCO. And for y'all who don't know, that is abbreviation for the People's National Criminal Organization. They're a criminal enterprise. And under the leadership of Bucky Massa, they are a set of criminals. I don't know no amount of death threat when me get in. A one life me have at the end of the day. And me go use it to talk to my people them and talk up for my people them. See, me know me have to dead. Whether now or later, but it must come. And no, not gonna stop me from talk for my nation. A nation that my family help build. A one that I am helping to build from this medium. And soon, personally. Jamaica is a liberal democracy. And every one of we have the right to hold our elected officials responsible. And it is your God-given right to speak up when you see something untoward is happening. And what I see is happening in Jamaica today with the opposition. It is unbecoming. And every single person that follows behind the People's National Criminal Organization, you guys should wake up and you should be ashamed of yourself. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. And if losing my life meaning my kids will have a better Jamaica, one that Andrew Holness is building, and one that Don Wehby wanted to see, and countless other Jamaicans, our forefathers wanted to see a better Jamaica. If that means I will lose my life that way, then I am happy to go, because my children will have a better Jamaica. And I say that with chest. The Jamaican people must wake up now and smell the coffee. Because of the People's National Criminal Organization, Jamaica has been left behind on plenty of occasions. And here we have people in Jamaica today that want Jamaica to continue down Sufferation Road. Why? For what? Why don't you leave? Go and look at visa and leave if you don't want to see Jamaica change. And I guarantee the place where you're going to look for your visa to go is the very place you're cussing. Because a lot of PNP who said they're a brigadista and they're a comrade, a lot of them is living in the big Satan, the great Satan, where they say CIA infiltrate Manly and tear down Jamaica. Some part of that is true. What are you doing there though? Aren't you a comrade? Why don't you go to Cuba? Why don't you go to Venezuela? Why you don't go to Russia? Aren't you a comrade? We must use these lessons and these times to teach our children about the PNP. They have a ugly past. They have a ugly past, my people. And they have not done anything to alleviate the pressures of poverty on the people of Jamaica. It is an absolute fact. Every single time the Jamaican people entrust the People's National Criminal Organization with power, we suffer. Every single time. Why we must continue to look to them? Because them say they love the poor. What have they done for the poor? In 1996, the United Nations charged the PNP government at the time under the leadership of Percival James Patterson. Jamaica was less than 3 million people at the time. And they charged them, they said you only have a small amount of people compared to what bigger nations have. You have a chance to eradicate poverty out of Jamaica. And they started a lot of initiatives and funding to the then Jamaican government. Where is all of that money? It is food for the poor, a charity that was building homes until Andrew Holness come now and start use government money and taxpayer money build proper homes for the people of Jamaica. It was a charity called Food for the Poor. When you went to your MP for help, your MP didn't help you out of constituency fund. He did not help you out of any emergency money. They triggered Food for the Poor, a charity. The PNP could not help us. 19 consecutive years we gave them in leadership in our nation. And what have they done? What of significance do we have to show for 19 consecutive years under the People's National Criminal Organization? So while I'm here extending my condolences to the Wehby family and to my Prime Minister, because I know Mr. Wehby is a good friend of his, you know, and all of the other ministers and senators who is in mourning this morning for losing their colleague. You know, I too, just like Mr. Wehby, want to see a better Jamaica. And I know many persons on this live here. There's 47 of us now. And, you know, I know a lot of us. Some PNP are here. And not all PNP are bad people. You have PNP that want to see a better Jamaica as well. You know, they just have a different belief system than us. But I know Jamaica is on the up under the leadership of these people. And it is so sad that Don Wehby won't live to see the third term. It is so sad that his family will wake up this morning not having a father. It is so sad, you know, that his colleagues will get up this morning and not have a friend. So I want to say, fly high, Mr. Wehby. Fly high. You know, you can watch from the clouds now and look down on Jamaica in all its glory. Because we, the Jamaican people, the rightful thinking people of Jamaica, will not allow any white imposter to come and divide our nation and divide with people them. I will not stand for it. And if it means I will lose my life, I will go before I see a white man like Mark Golding. And when I say like Mark Golding, I mean like Mark Golding, a divider, a person that don't truly care about the Jamaican people. What have Mark Golding ever shown to the Jamaican people that he cared about us? Somebody point to one instance. What has Mark Golding done as opposition leader more than oppose? Mark Golding have not done anything to help move Jamaica along. Mark Golding opposed state of emergency. Him opposed the budget. Him opposed building hospitals. Him opposed building schools. Him opposed building them things they are slavery people. Do them things that they don't want black people to have nothing. Him opposed bus fees, pitney them go to school. Him opposed bus for Jamaican traveling. Him opposed every single God Almighty thing. What on God's earth? Since Mark Golding has been the opposition leader, has Mark Golding said, yes, I agree with that because it will help the people of Jamaica. As a white man that is not from Jamaica and want to lead us. Somebody tell me one instant that Mark Golding said that he agreed with this and this is a good thing for the Jamaican people. We're trying to move Jamaica to a republic so we can get rid of the king as head of state of our nation and place a Jamaican there. And Mark Golding is opposing that as well. So what has Mark Golding done to show the people of Jamaica? We're not looking at Mark Golding police division in South St. Andrew. Highest murder rate in our country. And Mark Golding oppose having a state of emergency there to save lives. Save lives. Absolute disgrace. I must ask him to ambuscade our nation. We must ask him to leave after the next general election. He must be deported back to Britain, which he came from. When you hear me I tell you no Jamaica? After the next election, we must ask him to leave our nation. He's a divisive figure. And we must not have him lingering around to further cause division in the background because he lost and he's a sore loser. And he's a sore loser. We know that because at the last local government election when he lost, like the sucker that he is, he refused to concede defeat. And when he refused to concede defeat, I came on my live the next morning and I said, listen, Jamaica, because Mark Golding have refused to concede defeat, Jamaica is now poised for bloodshed, for political blood to spill on the street of Jamaica again. And the reason why I say that is because he refused to concede defeat. And when an opposition leader concede, or when the prime minister concede, that is where the healing process starting. So people can move on. This is where it starts. So people can move on. See? You know what will happen now? Should this election that is coming up in weeks now be close? Should it be close? Mark Gold will say he did not lose and JLP thief the election. What do you think will happen on the streets of Jamaica? Eh? This big fat sour hog come to divide with people them for rule and conquer we. But I say nah, no, not under any circumstances we must allow that. See? Not under any circumstances we must allow that. We must ask him to leave. And I will say this again. I do not like, not even when I hear them on his skin, I don't like him none at all. Because I see right through him and I see what he's about. I have no issue with any other white person, but Mark Golding need to left Jamaica. When you look at the behavior of his shadow cabinet, look at his behavior of the people them that is around him. These people can't be serious. And people that is running behind the PNP, you know, can't be serious if you run behind that. It is an absolute travesty. It is a sad case. No other opposition in our history of Jamaica, even in our 70s, Michael Manley Warrior, they never behave like how Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell and Peter Bunting and the rest of them is behaving. Damian Crawford, I am so disappointed in the pork jet. Absolute disaster. You don't even get me started on Lisa Anna. Because a 3 face she have. So why people like Don Wehby and Andrew Holness and members of my family and other families in Jamaica, why should we work so hard, tirelessly, and myself as well, working through this medium? Why should we work so hard and all the MPs and councillors work so hard for persons like the opposition people to behave the way they are behaving by not setting an example for the people and the youths of Jamaica? The election is constitutionally due by December this year. So the election can be called anytime between September and December. See? So anybody, for the person name or Shikmak, I don't know how you pronounce that. Sikmak. Sikmet. See? The election is constitutionally due between September and latest December this year. See? Eamon Crawford, Dan Rai is a big buto. And we will not ever allow any of them. When you look at Mark Golding, I told you guys this last night. Every member of parliament in Jamaica, whether you are PNP or JLP, every single one is given 5 free homes to give away. So, Persons can go to local government to get a house that is under the Desmond Mackenzie Homes for the Indigent or Indigent. Then you have the Prime Minister's Social Housing Program, which is separate. And you still have food for the poor, if you can get a house through that as well. The government is also making it possible where you can get a zero interest mortgage if you can come up with the deposit. The government is lending you upwards of $25 million to get a house and off the NHT. You know, there are homes that you can buy for 15 million, 9 million, 7 million. You can get a loan for those as well. If you're a minimum wage worker and you only earn 30,000 a week, there's a specialized mortgage for you as well. Today, Jamaica is in a better place because people like Don Wehby and other advisors to the government who is in business and see the needs of the people. And the PNP will come and reverse all of that progress. They have done it. Because they will say it is the legacy of the Jamaica Labour Party, and they're not. You know what I notice? Anytime Labour right in a power, Labour right body and friend with PNP. And PNP in a power, Labour right are their enemy. Not even the scrap where dog no want, then would give Labour right. I get it that we are better than them, and we do not operate like them. And this is why we must not allow them to ever come back to prominence. Never. And the people of Jamaica have a choice to make this coming election. I must speak in our numbers and speak loudly that we reject people like the ilk of these people that we are seeing now. This current inception is the worst opposition in the whole world. Not even Taliban, no worse than them. I would go as far as to say that the PNP is worse than ISIS. Their behavior is unbecoming. Their behavior is unbecoming. And Jamaica, we must reject it. We must reject it, Jamaica. Now, guys, big up all 61 I know, give me a thumbs up. There's 172 of us on the live. And big up on yourself. I got to get ready to go to work. You know, much love and much respect. You know, condolences again to the Wehby family. You know, sending condolences to my Prime Minister because Mr. Wehby is his friend. And, you know, we have lost a giant today. Somebody that knows how to get things done. We have lost. You know, but that is just the way of life, my people. You know, and I want to. I'm nurturing, so you have a question. So ask the question now. Ask the question fast for me go. I can go 6 more minutes of my time. I just pray as a descendant of Jamaicans that the interests of black Jamaicans can be front and foremost. You know, Ronaldo, big up yourself, my boss. How can I get information about Mountain View? What you mean? Clement, big up yourself. I want to invest, build property. There is several ways you can reach out, you know, but try and reach out to what kind of investment you do. You want to build a block of flats, you want to build, you want to get land for selling a plots, what you want to do. It depends what you want to do, but there's a way to reach out to the government itself. If you live overseas, you know, you can get to go to the consulate and speak to somebody. I'm sure you can contact the Jamaica Foreign Office and you can talk to them about that. There is tax breaks as well through that medium, so you can reach out in that manner. I am not sure Who else? You can send a message to the Prime Minister on IG. Somebody reads it, I assure you. You know, so just deal with it the way there. But anyway, big up on yourself, my people. And I will see you guys later. Shower laborers.